Hello, everyone. Marty Chinesky here, along with my good buddy Ken Brown, and we are your host of Local Sports Wrap-Up. Today is Monday, the 23rd of 2024, January.
Yes.
January. How the heck you been? It's been a Christmas break, a New Year's break.
Martin Luther King break.
All of it. All of it. The school's been canceled. It snowed. It's icy tonight. Can't get on the roads tomorrow morning.
Man.
I went to New Orleans. It was 40 degrees down there. But hey, good to see you again, partner.
Man. We're back.
We're back.
No, a lot of good stuff going on locally with sports as well. Maybe not high school sports, but Michigan, since we've been gone, Michigan's national champions for 2024. And you also got the Lions representing in the NFC championship game next week versus the 49ers.
You know, I looked into tickets yesterday, right before the game started. They still had tickets that were unsold. There were still tickets that were available that weren't resale tickets. And it was like $460 to sit in like the 30-yard line in the last row of the upper deck. If you'd have been inside, it would have been a good time. There's not a bad seat in that place. Now, down lower is better.
Definitely.
But up high is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
I flirted with just, I got a lot going on at work, and I actually went to work, went home, watched the game, and then came back and went to work till about 10 o'clock at night just to get stuff done. But I was going to listen to the game. I said, I got to see this.
Yeah.
I used to be a lifetime season ticket holder till they went 0-16.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
And,
man.
Gave them up. And it's exciting.
Yeah, even though I'm not a Lions fan, I think that the best thing about it is that I heard in the first week that they hosted a playoff game, Detroit's economy was boosted by $20 million. With hotels, food, just the travel and the different stuff downtown, and you could see it, right? So then I'm sure yesterday was the same. And field goal away or a touchdown by Aaron Jones away from hosting the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I went to bed when that game was in the fourth quarter, and I'm like, we're going to have a third game. We might have a third game.
Right.
And son of a gun, they came back and beat them. I would have been that guy crying. You know, longtime Lions season ticket holder. I was at the last one in 1991.
Wow.
Bought 2 tickets out front. You know, we went to the Silverdome, bought 2 tickets out front, probably paid $70 for them. And my brother still has his ticket stub because he was there too. And $28 was how much tickets cost in 1991 to go to a playoff game. And we annihilated Dallas that day. It was 31-6.
Yeah, something
and
crazy.
It was. I wanted to go back and go, but you know what? It was nice watching it in the living room, and I'm excited for next week. I really am.
No.
It's good for the city. If they win next week, I'm going.
Oh yeah.
You want to go to Vegas with me?
Mm-hmm.
My trade show's the week before. I could write it all off.
Okay. I don't know. I looked into Vegas tickets for the Super Bowl, thinking the Cowboys were going to go. And they were $1,500 to fly to Vegas, so you'd probably have to fly into LA.
It's going to be brutal to get there.
And drive.
Yes.
Or fly to Arizona and drive over. But I'm sure it'd be a great time.
I don't know. I don't know. At my age, I should just do it. All right.
Yeah.
5 minutes on the Lions. That's enough.
Yeah.
And Michigan won, yeah. Pistons won their second game while I was in New Orleans.
Yeah.
That was fun.
And I think they're up to 4 now. Still about 10 games shy of the Lions. But yeah, that's something else to see.
So we got all kinds of stuff to talk about. We've been off for a long time. Let's start with boys basketball.
Yeah.
The standings, we have the standings. I don't know if it's a shock or not. Gibraltar Carlson's at the top of the pack.
The good news about that, even though they're 8-1, last week they actually lost to Wyandotte 50-45.
Nice.
So the Bears are coming, spoilers, I guess, early on, are getting their feet underneath them. So we're going to see where they are.
They're about 4-5, about a 500 team. We get beat up on somebody else and get back to even.
That's right. And Allen Park's still performing well. And these stats, our standings are through last week, so we don't necessarily have the culmination for this week. But Allen Park was 7-1 at the time of the standings, so they're doing really well. We got Southgate at 6-2, Trenton at 5-3, and then as you said, we got
Woodhaven's a 4-4 team. Then Wyandotte 4-5, and Etzel Ford 2-6. Lincoln Park and Taylor are picking up the rear at 1-7 and 0-8, and that's unfortunate for Taylor because my buddy Chris is the coach there, an assistant athletic director, and 0-8. He can't be happy with 0-8.
No, but I'm sure they'll come around. They usually get pretty good athletes there. On the 18th, I also see that Lincoln Park actually beat Trenton 54-38, and Southgate beat Taylor 64-24. So, yeah, Taylor took a whooping that week.
24 points in 4 quarters. Well, we've talked about this at the high school level. It can get pretty uneven, and we have talked about games where the teams have scored, under 15 and under 20, and 5 points a quarter. You got 12 minutes. You can't score. You think you fall into 5 points a quarter.
Yeah.
But if they're pressing and they're bigger and stronger and faster,
you can see it happening.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, especially at the high school level, because it can get uneven in a hurry.
Yeah, and the game's changed so much since we were younger when we wanted to pound the ball inside and get easier shots. Now these kids are shooting three-pointers and different things like that. If you miss 6 or 7 three-pointers, you're down 12 easy, you know?
And they're going to keep launching it up. I know a bunch of my buddies are shooters. They don't care if they keep missing. They're going to fire it back. Right? Give me the ball. Give me the ball.
As they should. You got to shoot your way out of slumps. But it's working really well for Gibraltar Carlson at this point in time and not so well for Taylor. But we still got until March to get things right. So we'll see. What about on the girls' side of things? On the girls' side of things, actually on January 16th, which is a week ago today, Carlson beat Allen Park 31-21. Trenton best Southgate 55-23. And then the Wyandotte Bears 24-16 over Etzel Ford.
Yeah, I should talk to Mr. Wilson, because Mr. Wilson, he is always posting about the he's here watching this, he's here watching that, the 24-16, that must have been a grind.
Sounds like a football score more than a basketball score.
It does.
I agree with you.
Yes, it does.
And if Etzel Ford is into that math equation that you were talking about, they're getting less than 4 points, 4 points a quarter. So it's not that good. But the Bears probably was playing outstanding defense, looking like Duke back in the 90s or something.
There you go. Playing the four corners.
That's right.
On offense. Excuse me.
And then after that, Etzel Ford lost to Woodhaven 43-28. Wyandotte lost to Carlson 40-31. Trenton beat up on Lincoln Park 49-12. Take that for 3 points a quarter. And then Taylor 37, Southgate 32. And Trenton did go in and beat Grosse Ile as well, 49-36.
A little non-league contest.
Yeah.
So they're in full swing. We'll get the girls' standings. We come back next week. We'll have a little more information. I was totally not prepared to do this show today, only because I've been coaching the bowling, and between the shop and the weather and the bowling, and we're in the middle of the swing here. Your Wyandotte girls, they are we were a 500 team until today. Got out of the gate really slow, 1-4. But I told them all now our goal is to be better in February. We got regionals in the last weekend of February. Okay. Well, the 21st and 2nd. And then if we can be fortunate enough to get to the state finals the next weekend, that would be great. But we started out slow, so now we have, as the coaches that were here the last time we were here, we are practicing with a purpose. And what a concept, And we gave Woodhaven's the leaders on the girls' side. They're 7-1. they just played Southgate our last meet. They were both 6-1. Now Southgate's 6-2. And we battled them today. And after the Bakers, we were down 6-4. And then after the first team game, we were ahead 11-8. And then and we lost one of those matches by a pin, so it could have been 12-7. It is what it is. The girls are trying. Lost with a 150 game. You can't, that's good.
Yeah.
It's one thing to lose with 110. You say shoot 150, 160, you're going to be in the hunt. And the same girl that lost by a pin with 156 won her second match with 176 by 5.
Okay.
So, Woodhaven's a good team. They knock down a lot of pins. If you shoot 120, you're losing against them, head to head. So,
Coach, when you guys were 1-4, right, and then you moved to 500, what was the difference? Was it the practicing with purpose? Was it more repetitions? What was it that caused the opponents?
I'd like to take, the opponent helps. Without a doubt, we caught the tough teams early, but let's cut, how do you say this the best way? We come here to bowl, okay? It could be a social event, but we come here to bowl. Let's execute, let's make good shots. We caught a couple of tournaments. The first one we go to in December in Flat Rock, we never bowl well. I don't know why that is early in the season. But we just bowled in the Wayne County, which we won 2 years ago and finished runner-up last year. And we get into the mix. We're 80 pins off the mix, or the number to get in. We're about 73 pins off the number getting in. And we got 4 Baker games to go. And we shoot nothing lower than 170 in the 4 Baker games. And the last game was 207. We got in the number by 7 pins.
Okay.
So that was great.
Yeah.
We're getting something to rally around. And then we have to bowl Belleville, the number 1 seed, and we beat them by 20 pins the first game. Two games total pins.
Okay.
But then we get to the second game, and they're pulling away, and they go open in the 8th and 9th, and we go strike. Okay, so my anchor bowler gets up, and if she throws the first one, we win the match. We're going to lose the game, but we're going to total pins. We're going to be in the match if she leaves a solid 7. We lose the match by 6 pins.
Ooh.
It is what it is. But she put the shot there, and that made her feel like she's the anchor bowler. She can compete because she did everything right. The 7 pin just didn't fall. So that gave us a little rally. We came back to league. We beat a good Carlson team. We beat a good Trenton team. We slowly but surely,
together,
right. And then we had a match postponed, and we came in and we bowled the Baker tournament in Woodhaven on Saturday and competed well. We qualified 6th and didn't even bowl that well, but qualified 6th. And then we had to take on Trillium, defending state champs, Trillium,
Oof.
by the way. And they changed the concept to 2 out of 3. So we lost the first game. We won the second game by a pin. We shot 150-something, won it by a pin. And then the third game, we shot another 150-something. The Trillium shot 170. Okay. So, and they end up winning it. So we lost to the champs.
Yeah.
So, we're starting to rally. I like it. On the boys' side, best team in the league's Wyandotte, undefeated.
Right.
He's got 2 kids averaging close to 200, and Jerry Sikora is doing a great job. And they just bowled. They lost that Woodhaven tournament. They got to the semifinals and lost to somebody, and I'm not sure who it was. It was a school not in the Downriver League. You know who it was? It was Monroe.
Okay.
Yeah. And they beat them. They lost. They won the first game, lost the next 2, I think is what happened. Wyandotte finished open in the championship game, and allowed the other team to sneak in. But overall, they're dominating the league. They got a couple of kids, like I said, averaging around 200, and even if they lose in the Bakers, they blow you out in the team games. But my team's got league high series so far in the league high game. I mean, in the Downriver League, we shot an 852.
All right.
So we're capable.
Sure.
but I got one struggling with grades. She ain't in the lineup. I had one sick today that I needed. You know, she's got strep throat. Don't come to bowling.
Yeah. Don't pass that around.
Don't pass that around.
Yeah.
So there's your bowling update. We got a tournament, the Burns tournament this weekend. Got to meet tomorrow and Thursday. Someone tomorrow's probably going to get canceled because they canceled school already. And then we bowl, I think we bowl Carlson or Trenton on Thursday at Score Lanes. And then we might even beat Taylor in their home house. And then we'll have the Burns tournament Sunday, which is 12 Baker games, and then the top 8 teams compete. So
I think that just knowing you and knowing how competitive you are, sometimes it can be frustrating when you're not necessarily winning. But from sitting over here and listening to the story, the thing that I think that you can take solace in is that, hey, we're getting better. We started off 1-4. We won a couple. We put a couple together. And we still have an opportunity to be very successful. How successful? 852. You know what I mean? We could be that successful at any given time.
Correct.
So we're dangerous.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's 50 pins higher than the second highest game, you know,
what I mean?
right now. Anyway, it's 50 pins higher. It's going to change over the year. Everybody should be getting better. But, yeah, you know, and it, having done this forever, you learn when they make a bad shot, it's, come on, throw the good one now. You know, not like, oh, gosh, what did you do?
Right.
You know, or shake your head or put your head down.
Yeah.
You don't do any of those things, especially with you coach of girls. You know, the boys might be a different story. But, yeah, you just stay positive, and they're trying.
Yeah.
You know, in any sport you've ever been in, you're trying every time.
Yeah.
You know, even when I play golf, I'm trying to hit it good. I don't hit it good, but I'm trying to hit it good.
Yeah. So you could take comfort in that, man.
Yes.
I know it's kind of disappointing a little bit, but at the same time, you can see the, you know, the future's bright.
I've never been, since I've taken over, I've never been 500 or below it, ever. So it's all new territory. But, you know, they're getting better, and that's all. I remember taking a 500 team to the state finals, so whatever happens that day, we don't know yet.
Yeah, no, and I think that those are the stories that you got to kind of share. I think we had some interesting tidbits from our roving reporter, Miss Caroline. All right. First of all, February 21st, Titan swim camp. It's got to be during winter break.
Gotta
But
be.
Every kid needs to learn how to swim. Now, one of these requirements is that the kid can swim a lap. All right. That's the one requirement. But on Wednesday, February 21st, for only $50, you can swim from 9 to 11. And I'm sure that is for the, I hope it's not for one time. It's got to be for that entire a couple days.
Yeah, that's a lot for one time.
It does seem like a lot. But it's in Southgate, Titan Swim.
And the one thing about those swim camps and all that, they want you to swim a lap because then they're going to teach you how to swim faster and swim better. You know, they're going to teach you technique. But if you can't float across the pool and make it one time, you know, they want their little swim clubs, no different than a volleyball club, no different than a basketball. You know, they're going to get you in that pool on a weekly basis, if not tri-weekly.
Yeah.
And you're going to learn how to swim. And if that's your passion, some kids, we called them squids when I was in high school. Some kids are squids. They like the
They
water.
could go, yeah. I think for me, it's more about safety, right? Just being able to trust a kid when you're on vacation and they're in the pool and you're watching a little bit. but
Kind of looking. You're kind of looking.
You know that they got it, so those things are important. Other interesting fact, tidbit, I'll call it. Airport graduate Derek Anderson is actually taking over his former high school teammate, Jimmy Duffy, as Carlton Airport's football coach.
Oh.
So they were teammates when they played, and now Duffy's stepping aside, and Derek Anderson is actually going to be the coach.
You figure he's been helping all these years there, probably? I would think.
I would hope so, but I think that the kind of cool thing is just the continuity from whatever class they're from, and they want to give back to their school and their alma mater, and they're going there to coach. So watch out for Derek Anderson coaching Carlton Airport in football next year.
I got a few hockey tidbits. they had a first annual Battle of the Golden Helmet.
Ooh.
And it goes to Trenton.
Wow,
Shocking
imagine
there.
that, yeah.
Imagine that. Beat Port Huron North, or Northern, 4-0. And outshot them 44-17.
Oh, my God.
Because Trenton, they can play some hockey. And the other thing I know is that the Bears kind of working it again. I don't know how many people on their roster this season, but they just got blanked by Allen Park 3-0. And it was the second time this year. Allen Park stopped a losing streak. Unfortunately, it was the second time I believe I read that they stopped a losing streak at our expense.
Sure.
You know, which is a shame. But they had it was a 3-0 win, I believe.
Okay.
And then we have a game that we're playing. Gabriel Richard is playing versus Plymouth January 27th. They play at RHS, so that's coming up. That's 2 days away.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah. And we talk about milestones, right? Talk about the Lions not making the championship game since 1957. That's a milestone. They're not having won a playoff game, and now they've won
I was
two.
at that playoff game.
In 1957?
No, the other one.
Okay.
It's the one in 91.
91?
I bought 2 tickets out front, and I don't think I might have paid $70 or $80 for the pair.
Things have changed.
Oh, just a little bit. Now you gotta take out a loan to get tickets.
Now, Dundee's Braden Whitaker, talking about milestones, he reaches 1,000 career points in basketball, and he did that on Tuesday versus Monroe Jefferson. So kudos to Braden for hitting his 1,000th point in the fourth quarter. So good job, Braden Whitaker from Dundee.
That's good stuff there.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal. 1,000 points, that's 500 baskets. We just talked about kids can't even score 4 points per quarter. But this kid's got 1,000 points for a career.
And that's, that's a couple hundred a season, you know, and he's still playing.
Yeah, he's still playing. And it's probably a little more than that. I mean, if he was a really good player, you're right, because that would be 4 seasons. But generally, you play 2 years of varsity. If you're real good, you might play
true.
3.
Right. Because if you come in at 9th grade, you're a boy among men.
Yeah, for sure.
You're about 14 years old, and these guys are 18. Yeah, and they've developed quite a bit more.
And you remember that from gym class when you walk in as a 9th grader, and then you walk in and those seniors are down on the other end roughhousing, you know. So.
Oh yeah.
It's a good deal.
I know Roosevelt's playing on the 27th at 5 p.m. I believe I have that here on this piece of paper too. And you know, there's a couple of unified downriver teams, which is interesting in hockey itself. There's New Boston Unified and Downriver Unified, but I'm not sure Downriver who is combining to make those teams unified. I know Riverview High School and one of the Catholic schools combined last year, and Southgate I thought was in that mix too. It's a shame that you can't get enough kids to play. You know what I mean? I mean, Roosevelt, when I coached JV, you know, they had so many kids on the bench. There were 25 kids, you know, and then 3 lines, 4 lines, and then people that didn't get in the lineup that practiced all the time with the team.
Gotcha.
You know, and it's unfortunate that has waned a little bit, and football's having the same problem. And I just read something about our politicians need to stick to politics. They're like wanted to eliminate football altogether, tackle football altogether for kids. I think it should be up to the parents if they want their kids to play football.
What's the rationale? Concussion?
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Kids are going to get hurt.
Yeah.
You know, football's rough. It's a mean sport. And these kids grow up look at the guys that make it. You know, in the college ranks and all that. They're paying their players now, so they're getting rewarded. But they used to have to go through that 4 years without getting anything.
Yeah.
Or the way they used to work it, your brother would become a athletic or become a trainer.
Sure.
And they'd pay him a salary.
And he can give you some money.
Well, yeah. Or the boosters. Boosters always kicked in and got you a job, somewhere.
And when you talk about that unified hockey, I think of it differently, I guess, because when I grew up, Ypsilanti High School did not have hockey. It was not an option. Now, our counterparts, Ann Arbor Pioneer, Ann Arbor Huron, they had budgets for hockey. So I think it's cool that schools that wouldn't normally offer it have an opportunity to offer it. And I should know that I got a little cousin, Jacob Brown, who's playing hockey unified. And I know he goes to Etzel Ford.
Okay.
And he's playing, but I think it's Downriver Unified that he's playing for. I do have his schedule in my phone, and Jacob, I will be coming to a game.
It could be because, the Dearborn schools had combined totally at one time. All three of them were, you had Etzel Ford, you had Dearborn High, and you had Fordson.
Sure.
They were just Dearborn, and now maybe they're downriver. Maybe they're grabbing kids from somewhere else, too.
Yeah, maybe they grab one more. But I'll know for sure by the next show what the name of that is. But no, I'm glad that kids are getting exposure because the biggest thing is sampling sports, getting the opportunity to see what you're good at. And that's the kind of hard part about today because so many people want you to specialize. If you're a basketball player, you're playing basketball 8 months, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
And it's the same, even all the good bowlers are just bowling. You know how many kids I have that I got 2 softball players this year, and they're going after bowling. They're going to camps.
Sure.
No, leave that stuff alone. Bowling 100% of the time. Yeah, well, that doesn't work.
No, it can't.
Hey, it's good to be back.
It's good to see
We'll
you.
have to do this again sometime. We're gonna wait another month to do this again.
Hope
No,
not,
a little
no.
quicker.
Yeah, quicker than that.
Yeah, I got to meet next Monday too, so we'll be running a little late when we're filming. But I'm Marty Janeski. That's Ken Brown. We're glad to be back. Catch us on, want to get a hold of us, localsportswrapup@gmail.com. Tell us about your kid. Tell us something good about your kid, and we'll put it on this show. We'll talk about anything your children do in the high school ranks, all downriver. So for Ken and myself, thanks for watching, and we will see everybody in a week. Drive safe tonight.
And tomorrow.